Mother Teresa is celebrated worldwide as a paragon of selfless compassion and unwavering commitment, dedicating her life to aiding Kolkata's most destitute populations. Her profound declaration, "The greatest destroyer of peace is the cry of the innocent unborn child," mirrors her deep convictions and dedication to safeguarding life at every phase. This statement, although polarizing, highlights her firm stance on significant moral issues. Throughout her existence, Mother Teresa was a pillar of hope and kindness, bridging divides of religion and culture to influence a myriad of lives globally. She founded the Missionaries of Charity, an organization committed to perpetuating her vision by assisting the severely underprivileged in numerous countries. Her tireless efforts garnered worldwide acclaim, including the Nobel Peace Prize, marking her relentless battle against poverty and distress as crucial to fostering peace. Mother Teresa, despite her near-saintly image, encountered personal hurdles. Towards the end of her life, she divulged a closely held secret, unveiling a more fragile aspect of her character and enriching our perception of the Saint of Kolkata. This revelation, disclosed only at her life's end, sketches a portrait of a woman wrestling with personal doubts and internal struggles. Since her canonization in 2016, Mother Teresa's influence remained significant yet complex. Admired for her charitable endeavors and seen as a moral and spiritual beacon, she also faced critiques and controversies. Issues regarding the adequacy of medical care in her facilities, debates over purported forced conversions, and her associations with contentious personalities have ignited discussions, revealing a more contentious facet of her generally lauded existence. Mother Teresa's perspectives on current social dilemmas and her advocacy for peace through nurturing the vulnerable provide valuable insights into her ethical philosophy. She contended that by attending to the marginalized, we could tackle some fundamental causes of conflict and unrest, thereby nurturing a more harmonious world. Born on August 26, 1910, in the city of Skopje, part of the then Ottoman Empire, Mother Teresa was christened Angeze Gonche Boyakchu. Although she was baptized the very next day, she chose to celebrate August 27th as her real birthday. The youngest offspring of Nicola and Drana Boyakchu, she spent her early years in a family deeply involved in Albanian political affairs, a commitment that ended abruptly with her father's death in 1919, when she was just 8. Mother Teresa's childhood was steeped in the inspiring tales of missionaries in Bengal, whose lives of selfless dedication deeply influenced her. By the tender age of 12, she was determined to commit her life to serving others through religion, a resolve that would only strengthen over the years. Her spiritual journey began in earnest on August 15, 1928. At the age of 18, while praying at the shrine of the Black Madonna of Letnice, a place she often visited, she made the pivotal decision to leave her homeland. She moved to Rathfarnham, Ireland, to join the Sisters of Loreto at the Loreto Convent. Her goal there was to master English, necessary for her future missionary work in India. Leaving her family behind was not easy, and she would never see her mother or sister again. They stayed in Skopje until 1934, before moving to Tirana in 1929. This separation was a significant sacrifice, highlighting her dedication to her calling. These early decisions and experiences laid the groundwork for what would become a remarkable life dedicated to service, initially unnoticed, but eventually influential on a global scale. As the years passed, Mother Teresa moved beyond the confines of her initial training in Ireland, ultimately finding her calling in the streets of Calcutta. There, she dedicated herself to aiding the city's most destitute and forgotten. Her life became a powerful example of unwavering commitment to service, her actions laying the foundation for a worldwide movement of compassion and care. Upon her arrival in India, she made her home in the picturesque town of Darjeeling, nestled in the beautiful lower Himalayas. In this calm setting, she began learning Bengali and started teaching at St. Teresa's School near her convent. The memorable day of May 24, 1931, marked her first religious vows, taken with immense joy and inspired by Thérèse of Lisieux, the patron saint of missionaries. Since another nun had already selected the name Teresa, she chose to use the Spanish spelling Teresa to distinguish herself. As she continued her journey, Mother Teresa's dedication to her missionary work grew stronger. On May 14, 1937, while teaching at the Loreto Convent School in Entally, Kolkata, she took her solemn vows. From that point on, she was affectionately known as Mother Teresa and devoted nearly 2 decades to leading the school, eventually becoming its headmistress in 1944. Despite her satisfaction with teaching, the extreme poverty she encountered in Kolkata weighed heavily on her. This deep unrest was exacerbated by the Bengal famine of 1943 and the violence of Direct Action Day in August 1946, both of which reinforced her determination to help those in need. Her resolve was further solidified during a train trip to Darjeeling in 1946, where she felt a profound internal call to dedicate her life to serving India's poor for Jesus. This experience, during her retreat at the Loreto convent, was so intense that she described it as the call within the call, a divine mandate she could not ignore without feeling she was betraying her faith. In response, she left her teaching role and in 1950 founded the Missionaries of Charity, adopting their distinctive white sari with blue borders as a uniform. Mother Teresa officially began her mission work among the poor in 1948, trading her traditional Loreto attire for a simple white sari with a blue border. After becoming an Indian citizen, she underwent basic medical training at the Holy Family Hospital in Patna, equipping her to better serve. Her first major initiative was opening a school in Motijil, Kolkata in early 1949, which marked the beginning of her unwavering commitment to the city's most vulnerable and set the foundation for what would become a global effort to reduce suffering. Mother Teresa was joined by a group of young women who laid the foundation for a new religious community dedicated to helping the poorest of the poor. Her efforts quickly captured the attention of Indian authorities, including the Prime Minister. On October 7, 1950, Mother Teresa obtained Vatican approval for the diocesan congregation, which later evolved into the Missionaries of Charity. In her own words, this congregation would care for the hungry, the naked, the homeless, the crippled, the blind, the lepers, all those people that feel unwanted, unloved, uncared for throughout society, people that have become a burden to society and are shunned by everyone. Mother Teresa's unwavering commitment to help the impoverished and sickly was evident when she set up her first hospice in 1952 with the support of local authorities in Kolkata. She transformed an abandoned Hindu temple into a haven for the destitute, which was aptly renamed Nirmal Hriday, or Pure Heart. The facility offered free medical care, allowing its residents to pass away with dignity and in accordance with their religious beliefs. Muslims were given the Quran to read, Hindus were provided with water from the Ganges, and Catholics received the sacraments necessary for the last rites. Further extending her care, Mother Teresa established another hospice for leprosy patients called Shanti Nagar, or City of Peace. Under her direction, the Missionaries of Charity broadened their scope to open leprosy clinics across Kolkata, where they delivered medical treatments, bandages and food to those in need. As the issue of homeless children worsened, the organization also started to take in orphaned children, providing them a new chance at life. Continuing to broaden her charitable works, in 1955, Mother Teresa founded Nirmala Shishu Bhavan, the Children's Home of the Immaculate Heart. This institution became a refuge for orphans and homeless youngsters, boosting volunteer involvement and financial contributions. The increased support enabled the founding of more facilities, including additional hospices, orphanages, and leprosy clinics across India throughout the 1960s. The growth of these compassionate initiatives highlighted Mother Teresa's profound dedication to supporting society's most vulnerable, continually drawing in people eager to help in her humanitarian missions. Mother Teresa broadened her congregation's outreach well beyond the borders of India, starting a new chapter in Venezuela in 1965 with just 5 members. The organization's footprint continued to grow as it established new facilities in Rome, Italy, Tanzania, and Austria by the end of 1968. Over the course of the 1970s, additional houses and foundations sprouted across the United States, Asia, Africa, and Europe. The expansion didn't stop there. The Missionaries of Charity also introduced a men's branch in 1963 and a branch for contemplative sisters in 1976. The organization welcomed both Catholic and non-Catholic volunteers who took on various roles, from lay missionaries to assistants for the sick and those in suffering. Responding to the clerical community's needs, Mother Teresa started the Corpus Christi movement for priests in 1981, and later, alongside Joseph Langford, the Missionary Fathers of Charity in 1984. This effort was designed to synergize the resources of the priesthood with the charitable objectives of the Missionaries of Charity. By the late 1990s, what started as a small group in Kolkata with only 13 members had expanded into a robust network of over 4,000 sisters managing orphanages, hospices, and charity centers worldwide. These centers catered to refugees, the blind, disabled, elderly, alcoholics, impoverished, homeless, and victims of natural disasters, epidemics, and famines. The growth continued, and by 2007, the Missionaries of Charity operated 600 missions, schools, and shelters in 120 countries, supported by about 450 brothers and 5,000 sisters. Despite being based primarily in India, Mother Teresa often traveled abroad for her humanitarian work, embracing her identity as an Albanian by blood, an Indian by citizenship, and a Catholic nun by faith. One notable journey was her trip to Belfast in 1971 during a time of intense conflict. She and her sisters initially received a warm welcome, but their stay was cut short as they abruptly left in 1973. Speculation arose about pressures from high-ranking church officials who wanted to redirect the focus of the missionary work. The exact reasons for their hasty departure remain unknown, fueling ongoing curiosity about the pressures and circumstances that might have driven their decision. Aaron's exceptional talent in design is evident in every detail of her work. She meticulously chooses color palettes that not only complement the historical context of each home, but also enhance the visual appeal of the spaces she transforms. Her knack for selecting the right decor pieces brings a distinctive artistic flair to each project. Aaron manages to merge her unique style with the settings seamlessly, striking a perfect balance between classic charm and modern sophistication. Her designs are more than just visually appealing, they resonate with historical depth and enrich the lives of those who inhabit these spaces. Aaron, alongside her partner Ben, leverages their combined skills to craft beautiful and functional living spaces. Their collaboration in the Hometown program has not only captivated and uplifted their audience, but has also played a crucial role in revitalizing entire communities. Through their creative efforts, they've brought new life to neglected areas, proving the power of thoughtful design in community transformation. Mother Teresa's global influence was profoundly felt during her 1991 visits to the radiation victims in Chernobyl and the earthquake survivors in Armenia. That year also marked her heartfelt return to Albania, where she established a facility for the Missionary Brothers of Charity in Tirana. By 1996, the Missionaries of Charity had expanded dramatically. From a modest group of 12 sisters to a vast network of over 517 missions in more than 100 countries, dedicated to aiding the most destitute across 450 centers worldwide. The expansion of the Missionaries of Charity into the United States began with the establishment of their first home in the South Bronx of New York City. By 1984, they had successfully set up 19 centers across the nation, each serving as a beacon of hope and charity. Mother Teresa's public life was filled with acts of compassion and devotion, yet she faced significant personal spiritual challenges. Despite her close connection to Jesus Christ, she experienced profound doubts about her faith and the existence of God, enduring decades of what she described as a spiritual night of emptiness. This inner conflict was not unique to her. It echoes the experiences of other saints like Thérèse of Lisieux. According to James Langford, such struggles are not uncommon among the devout and do not impede the journey toward sainthood. This aspect of Mother Teresa's life brings to light the complex nature of faith, which often involves a delicate balance between certainty and doubt. Her public endeavors and personal battles highlight the nuanced reality of spiritual life, offering solace to those who may face similar doubts, ensuring they are not alone in their spiritual journeys. After enduring a long period of spiritual doubt, Mother Teresa experienced a short-lived revival in her faith following the death of Pope Pius XII in 1958. During a memorial mass for the Pope, she briefly felt a release from her ongoing spiritual torment, but this relief was temporary, vanishing after just 5 weeks. Throughout her life, Mother Teresa engaged in extensive correspondence with her spiritual mentors, including the Archbishop of Kolkata and Jesuit priest Celeste van Exem, who had advised her since the beginning of the Missionaries of Charity. She often insisted that these letters be destroyed to keep the focus on Jesus rather than herself. Contrary to her wishes, these writings were later compiled and published in the book Mother Teresa, Come Be My Light. In her heartfelt letters to her trusted friend Michael van der Peet, Mother Teresa expressed intense feelings of loneliness and spiritual separation, despite her intense longing for divine connection. She urged Michael to pray for her, hoping that it would help her fully devote herself to Jesus. Pope Benedict XVI frequently mentioned Mother Teresa in his first encyclical, Deus Caritas Est, using her as an example of how prayerful devotion can enhance, not detract from, our ability to assist others. He argued that such devotion is what actually energizes our capacity to love and serve. Although not aligned with the Franciscan order, Mother Teresa was heavily influenced by St. Francis of Assisi and his spiritual practices. This inspiration was evident in her and her Sisters of Charity, who recited the prayer of St. Francis daily to give thanks after communion. Her commitment and vows drew heavily from the principles of St. Francis, who valued poverty, chastity, obedience, and a life dedicated to Christ. Known for his work with the impoverished and lepers, St. Francis's spirit of generosity deeply inspired Mother Teresa's own service. Mother Teresa was internationally recognized, receiving several honors, including a diplomatic passport from India, and awards like the Padma Shri in 1962 and the Bharat Ratna in 1980. Her impact was further commemorated with a special 5 rupee coin released by the Indian government on her 100th birthday, representing the modest sum she had when she first came to India. Her extraordinary life and works were detailed in an official biography by Navin Chawla in 1992. In Kolkata, she is even worshipped as a deity by some Hindus. Her enduring legacy serves as a powerful symbol of hope and compassion, showcasing how one person's unyielding dedication to faith and service can profoundly touch the lives of many. This continuous legacy showcases the boundless possibilities of sincere commitment to humanitarian causes. President Pratibha Patil once spoke about Mother Teresa's profound influence, emphasizing her iconic white sari trimmed with blue borders as a beacon of hope. Through her organization, the Missionaries of Charity, she reached out to the often forgotten segments of society, the elderly, homeless, unemployed, sick, dying, and family-abandoned individuals. Internationally, Mother Teresa was celebrated too, having been awarded the prestigious Ramon Magsaysay Award for Peace and International Understanding in 1962. This accolade acknowledged her tireless efforts to aid the poorest of the poor in a foreign country, which also led to the establishment of a new religious community dedicated to these causes. By the early 1970s, Mother Teresa had become a household name worldwide. Her global recognition began with the 1969 release of the BBC documentary Something Beautiful for God, created by Malcolm Muggeridge, and the subsequent publication of a book by the same name in 1971. Muggeridge was on his own spiritual journey at the time, which brought a unique perspective to his depiction of Mother Teresa's work. The far-reaching impact of her endeavors continued to grow, attracting the attention of not only those in need, but also the media and various humanitarian groups. This increasing visibility furthered her mission, allowing her to uplift more lives through her steadfast dedication to service and empathy. Her story inspired countless others to engage in acts of kindness and compassion, extending her influence well beyond the immediate reach of her charitable activities. The team encountered significant problems with poor lighting in the hospice for the dying. Initially, they were concerned that the dark conditions had ruined the footage. Yet when the videos were played back in England, they were surprisingly clear and well lit. Muggeridge felt this unexpected clarity was a sign of divine light linked to Teresa, whereas others credited a newly developed, highly sensitive Kodak film. This incident profoundly impacted Muggeridge, deepening his faith and leading him to convert to Catholicism, which brought him closer to Mother Teresa. At the same time, Mother Teresa was gaining immense respect and admiration from the Catholic community. Her relentless dedication and embodiment of Christian values did not go unnoticed. In 1971, she was honored with the inaugural Pope John XXIII Peace Prize by Pope Paul VI. Her efforts towards peace earned her the Pacem in Terris Award 5 years later, adding to her growing list of accolades. Mother Teresa's path to sainthood accelerated as she began receiving not only religious awards, but also recognition from political and civil institutions globally. In 1982, she was named an honorary companion of the Order of Australia, recognizing her extensive humanitarian work. The United Kingdom and the United States bestowed numerous honors upon her, including the prestigious Order of Merit in 1983. Even her native Albania celebrated her achievements by awarding her the Golden Honor of the Nation in 1994, and she received honorary U.S. citizenship in 1996. However, these honors came with their share of controversy due to her connections with some questionable figures. Despite facing criticism, Mother Teresa's global recognition continued to grow. She was awarded honorary titles and accolades from numerous educational institutions worldwide. Among these were the Balzan Prize in 1978 for her humanitarian efforts and the Albert Schweitzer International Prize in 1975. Another memorable moment was during her 1976 visit to the University of Scranton in northeastern Pennsylvania, where she received the Laureate Medal for Human Service. The breadth of Mother Teresa's work and the recognition she received highlight her enduring commitment to serving the underprivileged, profoundly affecting both those she helped and those inspired by her dedication. Mother Teresa stood before a large crowd of 4,500, passionately calling them to support the underprivileged in their local communities. She emphasized the importance of sharing food, joy, and love, underscoring her belief that the poor can deepen our spiritual journey as they represent Christ in their struggles. During a significant moment in August 1987, after being awarded an honorary doctorate, she spoke to more than 4,000 people in Scranton, advocating the power of performing small deeds with deep love, especially when aiding the most disadvantaged. Throughout her life, Mother Teresa consistently appeared as one of the 10 most admired women in the Gallup polls, often securing the first position during the 1980s and 1990s. By the close of the 20th century, she was celebrated as the century's most admired figure, eclipsing many other luminaries. Yet her reception wasn't universally warm. In India, her reputation was sometimes controversial. Arup Chatterjee, who had first-hand experience with Kolkata's slums and later wrote a critical book in 2003, accused her of misrepresenting the city and mishandling her mission's resources. He highlighted long-standing issues, like the reuse of needles, which only saw improvements after her death in 1997. Bikash Ranjan Bhattacharya, the mayor of Kolkata from 2005 to 2011, also expressed doubts about her impact on the city's impoverished, criticizing her methods in handling disease and poverty. Despite such controversies, political groups like the Bharatiya Janata Party, which had previously conflicted with her, praised her efforts posthumously and sent a representative to her funeral. Furthermore, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, VHP, strongly opposed the state funeral granted to her, arguing that her activities were more about promoting the church than truly helping the needy, and accused her of conducting covert baptisms. Mother Teresa's story continues to stir a blend of deep respect and critical debate, illustrating the complex effects of her life's work. This ongoing discourse highlights the nuances of philanthropy and societal portrayal of poverty, keeping her legacy a lively and relevant subject for discussion. This complexity ensures that her story is not just about her actions, but also about the reactions they inspire, providing a full picture of her influence and the varied perceptions that come with it. The prominent Indian magazine Frontline dedicated its front page to defending Mother Teresa from unfounded criticisms, stating these claims did not affect her esteemed reputation, particularly in Kolkata. The piece praised her selflessness and courage, but also pointed out her contentious stance on abortion and her claims of being apolitical. In 2015, Mohan Bhagwat, leader of the Hindu nationalist organization RSS, controversially alleged that Mother Teresa's charitable actions were driven by an agenda to convert those she aided to Christianity. Mother Teresa's health troubles began with a heart attack in 1983 during a visit to Pope John Paul II in Rome. A second heart attack in 1989 led to her having a pacemaker installed. She faced further health issues with pneumonia in Mexico in 1991, which again affected her heart. Despite these health struggles and her offer to step down, the sisters of her order unanimously requested her to stay on as their leader through a secret ballot. Her health continued to decline in 1996 after a fall that broke her collarbone, and she later battled malaria and heart failure. During one of her hospital stays for heart issues, Archbishop Henry Sebastian de Souza believed she was under spiritual assault, and with her consent, conducted an exorcism. Mother Teresa resigned from her role at the Missionaries of Charity on March 13, 1997, and died later that year on September 5th. Her body was displayed at St. Thomas, Kolkata, where many gathered to honor her. The Indian government arranged a state funeral in recognition of her services to humanity, attended by many, including Cardinal Angelo Sodano, who represented the Pope and delivered a moving eulogy. Her passing was mourned globally, with leaders like Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and former UN Secretary-General Javier Pérez de Cuellar, lauding her lifelong commitment to the marginalized and her peace-promoting spirit, which they felt mirrored the values of the United Nations. Even after her death, Mother Teresa's legacy continues to provoke thought and debate about the relationship between her faith-driven missions and her broader humanitarian goals. This dialogue underscores the enduring influence she has on individuals and global charity work, inspiring many to reflect on the nature of altruistic endeavors and the motivations behind them. The Vatican officially declared the recovery of Monica Besra from an abdominal tumor as a miraculous event. Besra, hailing from India, reported that her healing came after a relic bearing the image of Teresa was applied to her, claiming that a beam of light from the relic cured her. Despite this, her husband and several medical professionals believe that her tumor was treated using standard medical procedures. In a separate instance in December 2015, Pope Francis acknowledged another miracle linked to Mother Teresa, setting the stage for her sainthood. This involved the recovery of a Brazilian man who had multiple brain tumors back in 2008. His remarkable recovery further strengthened the case for Mother Teresa's canonization, highlighting her enduring influence and the profound impact of faith in miraculous healings. The inquiry into a remarkable event started during the 2013 World Youth Day in Brazil. After thorough scrutiny, the Congregation for the Causes of Saints wrapped up its examination and formally acknowledged the occurrence as a miracle. This acknowledgement paved the way for Mother Teresa's beatification in 2003 and her subsequent canonization as a saint in 2016. On September 4, 2016, in a striking turn of events, Pope Francis declared Mother Teresa a saint during a large-scale event in St. Peter's Square, Vatican City. The ceremony drew large crowds, including representatives from 15 different countries and 100 homeless people from throughout Italy. It was broadcast live and streamed online by the Vatican Channel, allowing people from all corners of the globe to partake in this momentous occasion. Celebrations erupted in Mother Teresa's hometown of Skopje, where a week-long festival was held in her memory. Meanwhile, in Kolkata, India, where she spent much of her life aiding the impoverished, a special mass was conducted by the Missionaries of Charity on September 4, 2017, to mark her canonization. 1 year post-canonization, Sister Mary Prima Pirik, leader of the Missionaries of Charity, proclaimed Mother Teresa the primary patroness of the Archdiocese of Kolkata during a Mass at the Cathedral of the Most Holy Rosary on September 6, 2017. The following day, Archbishop Thomas de Souza confirmed that Mother Teresa would also share the title of co-patron with St. Francis Xavier, in a ceremony commemorating the anniversary of her canonization. Towards the end of her life, Mother Teresa shared her inner turmoil, which was unknown to many. Despite her outward expression of joy and love, she battled feelings of emptiness and dissatisfaction. She provided comfort to others, yet longed for the same in return. She experienced loneliness and felt a profound separation from God, yearning for His presence, but feeling His absence. Her fear of not meeting Jesus' expectations and her dread of judgment added layers to her persona that were only revealed later. The unveiling of Mother Teresa's inner struggles and the personal sacrifices she endured added new dimensions to her legacy, underscoring the immense personal cost associated with a life dedicated to humanitarian service. This revelation invites us to reconsider the full scope of commitment required to dedicate one's life to the upliftment of humanity and challenges our understanding of what it means to serve selflessly for a greater cause. This story not only deepens our appreciation for her contributions, but also ignites a conversation about the nature of service and sacrifice.